From their outward appearance to the inner workings of their physiology, parademons exhibit traits that set them apart from conventional villains. But to be honest, they're not really a threat to the DC universe. They might have superhuman strength, endurance, and resistance to pain, but their intellectual capabilities are limited, and their communication skills are rudimentary at best. So, they're more like Darkseid's mindless pawns in the League's punching bag. No story of Darkseid would probably be complete without the parademons entering the scene and making a mess. Having said that, these guys have a bunch of nasty abilities up their parademonic sleeves, or whatever it is that they wear. In this video, we will explore all the aspects of a parademon's physiology, anatomy, and strange things it can do to hurt the good guys. Additionally, we will also explore the sinister and grim process that's employed to make a parademon. Before we continue our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, let's begin. Are they actual demons? The name Parademon is quite self-explanatory as far as the appearance of these bestial demonic creatures is concerned. The prefix para can mean besides, beyond, alongside of, etc. And well, demon means demon. So obviously, parademons are creatures that are demonic in nature, but their origin and appearance are beyond the biblical version of Satan's minions. Before the Flashpoint event, parademons were genetically engineered, and naturally, they had a horrifically intimidating appearance, just the way Darkseid likes it. In this version, they were sent to Granny Goodness, who did her work on them, but we'll talk about it in just a bit. Anyway, after Flashpoint, they were given a grimmer origin, which makes their appearance look further sinister. So, Darkseid started to use cadavers of his fallen enemies, unfortunate victims, and populations of conquered worlds to fix them with nanotech implants that made the reanimated cadavers extremely loyal to the dictator of Apocalypse. But even living and breathing subjects could be used. It seems that human rights are not really recognized on Apocalypse. Once a horde of parademons attacks a place, they snatch the alive and the dead of the natives and take them into the conversion facilities, where new god tech and the mother boxes are used to cultivate a new breed of parademons. In fact, the creation of the Justice League in the new 52 version was formed in response to a parademon invasion on Earth. Why don't parademons have a uniform appearance? Serving as Darkseid's shock troopers and sentries, the parademons aren't born naturally, as is widely believed, but are instead artificially created. However, since the parademons are all made from beings of different species and hail from different worlds, Darkseid's minions come in different shapes, each more grotesque than the other. On the rare occasions that parademons assimilate others to increase their population, they look further horrid. But despite their varying appearance, all parademons have wings, razor-sharp claws, and glowing eyes. And additionally, they have superhuman strength and pain tolerance, which is the result of the way they were created. So essentially, they are cybernized pawns that double up as loyal flying zombies or hunter-killer drones to Darkseid. Why do they obey Darkseid? Just like Xenomorph, drones are loyal to their queen, or Patrick Bateman's loyalty to his skincare routine. Parademons would follow Darkseid to their death if he so much as raised a finger, and much like Unsullied, their loyalty cannot be bought. But why is it so? Why do the parademons obey Darkseid so much? Well, it all rests in the ways that they were created, processed, and conditioned. The first ever parademon was genetically created on Darkseid's orders in one of his labs, after which it was sent to Granny Goodness for some good old brainwashing, training, and conditioning. She instilled in this guy an interminable sense of absolute loyalty for the ruler of Apocalypse. But according to the new version, they are created from living and dead victims, and are sent to Darkseid, Darkseid's chief interrogator, and the one Darkseid turns to when he needs someone tortured. Can they talk or not? In the first issue of the 1971 comic, The New Gods, Orion, the son of Darkseid but adopted by High Father, was sent on a mission to Apocalypse after High Father received a message from the Source. To give you a bit of a DC history lesson, New Genesis and Apocalypse were the two planets where the New Gods resided, but these two were the exact opposite of each other. Just like evil is the opposite of good, Apocalypse was the opposite of New Genesis. Just as Orion entered Apocalypse's atmosphere, parademons attacked him, This was the first time that the Parademons appeared in a DC comic. They were far more humanoid than their later iterations and wore uniforms. Even their wings don't entirely look like wings. And it seemed like they wore some kind of a gadget that helped them fly. Since it was their first appearance and they didn't know that they'd later be turned into mindless creatures by the writers, they could talk in complete sentences. After noticing Orion, one of them says, "Stop the intruder," while another one exclaims, "It's Orion of New Genesis." And then there's a bit more of the conversation between Orion and the Parademons, but you get the point, right? In the later iterations, the poor sentries are turned into little more than dumb flying zombies who get a kick out of people in fear. At least if we are going by the Justice League movie. And when we're not doing that, they follow the commands of Darkseid, which is basically all that they do. In one of the comics, these guys either don't say anything or say dumb and obvious things like, "For Darkseid." We mean, yeah, warriors need batteries and all that, but these guys aren't really Michael Fassbender from 300, are they? Speaking of Fassbender, we really think he could play so many characters from DC. Have you got any suggestions? What do they have over their bodies? Parademons have always worn Apocalyptian armor. In fact, in the initial days of their appearance, it was this armor which allowed the Parademons to fly. In line with their overall appearance, the armor hasn't remained entirely consistent throughout the stories. So we believe it's best to draw our conversation towards the Parademons seen in the live-action Justice League movie. Here, they wear an organic-looking armor that does well to protect them against conventional weapons. It seems that the creators wanted to blur the line between the technological and organic forms of the Parademons. The chitinous covering was the reason why Batman had to upgrade his arsenal and Batmobile. Conventional weapons that are good enough for humans simply prove futile against Parademons, protected by the external layer that serves as a full-body bulletproof armor. Having said that, anything from a high-powered explosive to an attack by a metahuman like Diana or Arthur can kill the Parademons. In fact, when Flash as much as pushed a Parademon at super speed, he was able to kill the monster. But then again, Flash's super speed is no joke, and is way more potent than the most powerful of Aquaman's punches. So yeah, a Parademon's armor is strong, but not as strong as the plot armor of so many good guys. Do they have knowledge of Apocalyptian weaponry? Of course, they have access to Apocalyptian weaponry, which was the most notably seen in Justice League during the first war of Darkseid against humans, Amazonians, and Atlanteans, as well as during Steppenwolf's invasion of Earth. During the first invasion, the Parademons used plasma-based Apocalyptia weapons, but these were more rudimentary, for instance, axes. However, that sort of changed by the time Steppenwolf arrived. It seemed that in the many millennia that passed between these two events, the Parademons were provided with more advanced weapons like rifles. These weapons bore quite a lot of similarities with the plasma carbines that Kryptonians use. However, the Parademon weapons shot beams and bursts of red-colored plasma. It's surprising to us that for a weapon this strong and technologically advanced, it needs to be shot at vital body parts in order to kill the target. I mean, us humans have shotguns that obliterate the unfortunate souls that are targeted at. But an advanced weapon from the planet of new gods needs to be fired at organs to make enough difference? Do they have the ability of fire breath and self-destruct? In the very first issue of the New 52 Justice League comics, Batman is found chasing after a hooded figure. The world is still relatively new to the concept of superheroes, and people always fear what they don't understand. Likewise, Batman is more of a mercenary vigilante of Gotham, who needs to be stopped or, worse, killed. Nevertheless, the cops follow Batman and the one he was after. They start shooting at Batman when we first get a glimpse of the hooded figure. It was anything but human. Although it had a humanoid body. Batman was new to the whole thing in the issue, and we're sure he didn't have access to the DC Universe comics and movies. So how did he know that this dude was a Parademon from another world? Batman fired his gripping gun and the hook stuck into the Parademon's right leg, but the Parademon did something never seen before. It breathed a large ball of fire from its mouth, and Batman was knocked off, injured. Batman could have met his demise there, but a thick plot armor and Green Lantern came to his rescue. you. The Parademon had seemingly left the scene while Green Lantern and Batman exchanged cold pleasantries, but it wasn't before long that the Parademon launched a surprise attack on the two would-be Justice Leaguers. With its fiery breath, the Parademon also destroyed police choppers that were shooting at the trio. The two heroes follow the Parademon only to find it in one of the tunnels. It was activating a mother box and self-destructed itself to create a large explosion that was intended to take down Batman and Green Lantern. It was here that the Parademon let out a battle cry or death cry for Darkseid. So basically, this issue confirms that the Parademons can self-destruct and can breathe fire. Although the Parademon destructed itself in this one, no visceral parts were found because it was a complete combustion, leaving no residue at all. But we're sure Batman may have wanted to ask the Parademon, "Tell me, do you bleed?" Do they bleed? In Justice League War, or Justice League Assemble, the second installment in the DC animated movie universe, Darkseid was on his day job on Earth. You know, the whole conquer the universe, world by world thing. He'd already turned the humans and other living beings into his army of Parademons. The Parademons who initially attacked Earth on Darkseid's orders were aliens from previous worlds that Darkseid had conquered. In fact, Darkseid wanted to turn Superman into a super Parademon, but that attempt was thwarted by Batman. Much like the comic we explored in this previous entry, the first Parademon that Batman and Green Lantern encountered tried to blow itself up along with the two heroes. It's later revealed that Parademons do bleed and have dark green blood. Curiously, it doesn't stick to skin or clothing and is electrically charged. Do they have transformation ability? Once again, in the first issue of the new 52 Justice League comic, the Parademon that Batman and Green Lantern face does something strange. The Parademon attacks the duo, but it realizes that it's no match for the combined strength of Gotham's Silent Guardian and the Lantern of Sector 2814. So it transforms into a giant four-legged insectoid monster before escaping the scene for good. It did so for better mobility and speed, and the stunt kinda worked as well. It was able to escape, at least for the time being. This ability enables them to generate new mechanical appendages or cybernetic wings, granting them expedient travel and the capacity to engage in combat with specialized weaponry. For instance, their razor-like wings have demonstrated the capability to slice through even the protective aura of a lantern ring. Is there a stronger class of Parademons? Well, yes, of course. A stronger and rather unique class of Darkseid's minions was seen in the Drums of War, the second issue of Earth 2, World's End. These were under the direct command of Kay Lee, a Tamaranian, who later became Darkseid's Fury of War, also called the Berserker Parademons. These were far superior to their regular brethren in terms of strength and durability, able to take a lot of punishment before finally dying. But what made them a truly sinister force was their ability to infect other living beings with a form of Marvel's techno-organic virus, which converted normal living beings into Berserker Parademons. Furthermore, this transformation happened almost immediately, and the victims lose all sense of self. Marvelous verdict. So in conclusion, Parademons possess formidable strength and endurance, which makes them a serious issue for the good guys. They exhibit superhuman capabilities, allowing them to engage in combat and endure physical punishment well beyond the capabilities of ordinary beings. While lacking in intellect and communication skills, some Parademons have demonstrated limited linguistic abilities. Having said that, almost all Parademons lack self-awareness and personal agency, functioning as obedient minions under the control of Darkseid, the ruler of the apocalypse. Parademons rely on sheer numbers to overwhelm their opponents, often engaging in battles collectively rather than individually. Their efficiency as soldiers is commendable, especially because it's rooted in their undying desire to serve their lord, Darkseid. Flight is a notable ability possessed by Parademons, facilitated by the standard issue Apocalyptian armor that they wear. This armor allows them to travel the skies with ease, enhancing their maneuverability and expanding their tactical capabilities. Recent iterations of Parademons have seen them adopt a more bionic nature, displaying the ability to techno-shift. Furthermore, Parademons possess the ability to discharge primordial fire as a means of offense. This unique attack from their mouths serves as a potent weapon against their adversaries. Additionally, when necessary, Parademons are willing to self-destruct, aiming to eliminate any opposition to their mission, directive while covering their tracks in the process. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!